Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. You're looking at the M4A1 FL10. It's a tier 6 French premium medium tank. It's located on the northeast corner of province and it's under the command of CIENOBUCHxD of OLIMP. Now this is a rather unusual tank because it's kind of a mix of two tanks. The AMX-13 turret and the body of a Sherman. And it was sold to the Israelis and the Egyptians and used in the various wars around the Suez Canal and of course the Six-Day War in 1967. Now it's actually a design that was actually came up with by the French to try and sell the Sherman hulls that were being, well, they were no longer needed by the Army de Terre, the French army. And so they actually started trying to sell them off, and the guerrilla just managed to splash CIENOBUCHxD for 84 hit points by landing around near him. Now it's a 75mm main gun, but it's a fast firing gun. It's actually designed originally from the same sort of gun you find on the Panther. Yes, it's kind of a Panther design, but it's also an autoloader, an oscillating turret, and in the game it only has 4 shots per autoloader, so he's capable of doing 135 alpha, penetrating 148mm with standard ammo, and with the premium rounds he can do 186mm of penetration. Now in reality the FL10 or 5 Lille, which is the name of the company that actually produced the turret, actually had 12 shots, and in fact it could fire all 12 shots within 1 minute, within 60 seconds. That's one shell every 5 seconds from a 75mm based on the Panther tank. In fact, he's going to fire! He's actually set light to the enemy FL10, and I think they're going to go down. He did. He got him. So he's got an arsonist from that one. Okay. The design of this gun is the KWK. Whoa. Unfortunately took a hit there. It's the same design you get from the KWK on the Panther. I think it's the KWK 43 or 42. But it's actually a very, very good design. The gun's quite long, actually. It actually didn't fit in many turrets. In fact, the Israelis actually designed some Shermans themselves with the help of the French, and they tried to fit the same gun into a Sherman turret, but it just wouldn't fit. Now, the problem with the AMX-13 design, this particular design, the FL10 turret, is that it doesn't have much in the way of armor. It was designed to be part of a light tank, the 13-ton tank, and so the turret armor is virtually non-existent. It's only got 40mm at the front, 20 at the sides and at the rear. So it really wasn't suitable. In fact, the Israelis originally rejected the FL10 turret because they said it was no good. It had no protection. Anyone who drove a tank with an FL10 turret was going to die. Okay, he's got that T150. He's not shooting yet, but he's highlighting that guy to his teammates, saying, oh, he's gone for him now. And he's pumping the rounds in, get the last shot off, and then he'll pull back. And he's in reload. Standard reload, 17.5 seconds. And CIENOBUCHxD has got a reload of 16.68, so that's good. Yes, so the Israelis actually rejected this turret. They didn't like it. And we can see that the enemy just lost their box tank. But the Israelis were eventually persuaded that they could actually arm some of their Shermans with the same... Oh, the guerrilla got him again. They could arm some of their Shermans so long as they fitted the gun into a Sherman turret. And that actually became known as the M50 in the end. Oh, missed out on the chance of getting that kill. And the Arty firing again, but he overshot there because he didn't realise that CIENOBUCHxD actually pushed forward. No shots over there where we spotted. No, we weren't, so nobody can see us at the moment. Okay. So, 2 kills so far. Who else can we get? Well, it's actually quite an interesting history with the this turret and this tank is that during the initial Suez crisis in 1956, the Egyptians had quite a lot of these, but their crews weren't well trained. And consequently, most of them were captured intact and then used by the Israelis afterwards, and some were in fixed emplacements. In fact, when the Israelis invaded in 1956, instead of actually firing at the Israeli armoured columns that were moving in to take part of Sinai, they actually fired on the Israeli settlements instead. And that really angered the Israelis, so they actually then wiped out the Egyptian units. And some of the Egyptians were so afraid they ran away from their tanks, and so they were captured intact. And some of them were still in the warehouses, not having been used. Okay, no shots from that direction. So it's actually quite an interesting tank to be in the game, from the purpose of thinking about the history of the Six-Day War and of course the Suez crisis. In fact, the first victims, or the first people who are actually fighting against this tank, were the British and the French, because of course the French and the British were the ones who actually invaded the actual canal area. Oh, and he's got himself another kill, the Jackson. And the Israelis then invaded, well, they were the first ones to go in. They actually captured the Sinai, while the French and the British intended to try and separate the Israelis and the Egyptians by capturing the canal zone. But of course then the Americans applied pressure to force Britain and France to pull out of these zones, and it was actually, the pressure was applied. Oh, what's he doing here? You're pushing that T-67 into the line of fire. I think he's actually just trying to encourage him to go forward. But you see, the thing was that the Americans actually did themselves a disservice by telling the British and the French to pull out, because the Arab nationalism that came about after the Suez crisis meant that a lot of Arab states were very anti-American, and they went straight into the arms of the Soviets to buy Soviet equipment. And in fact, Egypt didn't like what happened to their tanks. They were non-aligned up until the Suez crisis, but after the Suez crisis, they started buying lots and lots of Soviet tanks, including IS-3s, Su-100s. In fact, they started manufacturing the Su-100 themselves after that. And, oh, he can't get his gun down there. You don't get much in the way of gun depression on this tank, but, oh, that Panzer von Fear. Oh, he managed to get out of sight in time, but he popped the reload. So he's going to have 4 shots ready in a second. Yes, so they actually bought loads of T-54, T-55s, and T-62s and IS-3s to fight Israeli in the Suez conflict. Well, you can't get round that side, so you're going to have to turn around and go the other way. Okay, that's exactly what he does. There's only 5 enemies left. They've got the advantage. They've got 8 on their team. Now, there is a KV-1 just down the way, and he can't get shots on him from this direction. Oh, and Arty's firing. Ow! That gorilla is really good. In fact, actually, it's not one gorilla, it's 2 gorillas in the game. They're both in the same area. So I suspect that he might be wanting to get a Pascucci's around about now, because he's been hit a few times by the gorilla and he didn't like it. So yes, the FL-10 turret, of course, you know this FL-10 actually does appear on lots of the French wheelies. Well, I say lots of the French wheelies. It's on the Panhard EBR-75. And of course it was needed on the Panhard EBR because, of course, the fact it's a light turret. Okay, the KV-1 goes down after that because he couldn't keep taking shells. But he's popped the reloads, so he's ready to go again. He's got 4 kills now. So it's a good chance he might be able to get a Top Gun out of this game. He's looking across the valley, pushing that wreck out the way. Oh! And he told the gorilla where he was by pushing the wreck, and now he's going to have to go around this way to avoid getting hit. And he's found another enemy. In fact, it's the SU... Is it an SU? SU-85? Oh, he doesn't get that kill because that one goes down to the ARL-44, but at least he gets the spotting for finding him. Now, the T-67 that he shoved on earlier actually has now found the gorilla for us, so at least one of them. Can we get the kill shot? Go for it. And he gets him. In fact, he hammer-racked him in the end. So there's only one gorilla left, but he's in reload. I think he ought to move now, because otherwise that T-67 is going to find the other gorilla. And, oh, I think he's trying to do a kill steal. He's locked on. Oh, he got him! So he does get his top gun, and he gets a Pascucci's to match. And now there's only one enemy left. It's the Churchill. And it's the Churchill 1. There he is. Is he AFK? It looks like he is, but he goes down in the end to the BDR G1B. And that's game over for CIENOBUCH. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the first ace tanker for CIENOBUCH in the M4A1 FL10. He got a demolition expert because he blew up one of the enemy tanks in the end. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points to his own vehicle. An arsonist because he set light to one of the enemy tanks and they burned up. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 10. And he got a Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from at least 4 different enemy tanks or more. He also got a Pascucci's medal for killing both enemy gorillas, and I'm sure he wanted that because, after all, they have been hitting him. I don't know if you saw right at the end, there was a huge hole on the top of his hull, right in front of the gun. I think that's actually the driver's mate's hatch, actually. These were M4A1s, and so they were one of the earlier designs. In fact, it's the non-welded cast version. And he also got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and also a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. Yeah, he got 6 when he killed the second gorilla, but he didn't get a chance to kill that Churchill 1 because somebody else was faster on the draw. His win rate in that game was 12,607, which is super unicum and a lot more. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, 3,245 hit points of damage is the high caliber in that one. Nobody else was really near it except for their Panzer von Vier, who managed 1,759 hit points of damage on the enemy team. Second highest being the SU-100 on our team with 1,110. And then we got the ARL-44, who picked up a steel wall and 1,050 hit points of damage. So, yeah, CIENOBUCH got 3,245, then the Panzer von Vier, then the SU-100, then the ARL-44. And when it came to kills, we can see CIENOBUCH got 6 kills in that game. 2 kills went to the ARL-44, the BDR G1B, the Panzer von Vier, and their KV-1. And when it came to base XP, only one player managed to get over 1,000 base, and that was CIENOBUCH with 1,695, which is a very good score. 602, oh, actually, no, it's 683 went to the Panzer von Vier. That really is a very overpowered medium. And he got 683, 602 went to the ARL-44. The only reason the FL10 is not considered an overpowered tank is really the fact that it doesn't have very strong armor, whereas the Panzer von Vier does. And it also has a wicked gun as well, a 75mm, very fast firing. Anyway, he got, I should say, actually, he did get the top in all 3 columns. He fired 38 rounds in that game. Now, you do get 72 rounds in the capacity, so he fired about, half his ammo. He also managed to get 28 direct hits on the enemy, 24 penetrations, 3,245 hit points of damage, of which 852 were at more than 300 meters. So most of the damage done at close range. Did receive 4 hits, 2 penetrating shots, 1 non-penetrating shots, and 5 hits by way of splash damage from the enemy Arty. They really did have a big go at him. And the thing is, because it's got lightweight armor, even the hull's lightweight actually, because the best armor on the front of this vehicle, being a Sherman, is only 50.8 millimeters, and the tank itself only weighs about 30 tons. Well, I think 40.2 fully loaded, but it's a fairly lightweight tank, so it doesn't really have a lot of armor, and therefore Arty can definitely take out one of these and do serious damage to them. So if you do see one in a battle, if you do get a direct hit, you're going to do severe damage, and if you get a near miss, you're just going to cripple them. 110 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 5 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, and 1,672 hit points of spotting assist. Now, he did earn a profit from this game, 70,956 credits, and he also got 5,848 XP as well. So a very good battle there. Is he like that one? First ace tanker in this vehicle. Not everybody has one. It is a premium, so I don't expect everyone will have one. And it's really a horses for courses. You know, it's not everybody's choice because it's so lightly armored. And of course, that FL10, it does fire those 4 rounds very, very quickly because there's a 4-clip side and the inch clip reloads 1.75 seconds. So you can fastly fire that 4 rounds, and then you've got to wait that 20 second, well, not 20 seconds, 17.5 seconds for it to reload. And during that period, because it has such poor armor, it can take a pounding from the enemy tanks. So it's not a great tank for brawling. It's more of a flanking tank that stays on the outside and shoots in like a tank destroyer might, but a flanking tank destroyer, something that would actually be able to pop up every now and then, pump 4 rounds in, then quickly disappear so that the enemy can't fire back and do some damage. But anyway, you can see CIENOBUCH managed to get an ace tanker, and he did it by doing precisely what I said. He actually flanked around the enemy, popped up every now and then with his 4 rounds, blasted them into the enemy and popped away again. And it worked out very well indeed. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.